Hello, everyone. Welcome back for some more great Ace Attorney. We just saved ourselves by convincing the people that no, if you don't believe Gina is like, if you believe Gina's guilty because she's a pickpocket, when we have two of the most nefarious looking criminal fellas ever, then, like, come on, that's not fair, right? So we got them on our side. Using the stereoscope, which is wonderful. My eyes hurt after that. So, let's continue.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
Oh, they're sweaty. Not Gregson, though. He's feeling fine.
I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination?
Oh, yeah, Governor.
I did, Gov. I did.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
God, blimey.
Oh, this is gonna be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was a bedlam as soon as, weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
However, that was a lie. You brothers!
God, blimey.
On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out?
Uh-oh. You both are so stupid.
You'll now give formal testimony once again. You'll tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again.
Oh.
A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear you.
We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach.
Oh, boy. What do you fellas have to say this time? The whole truth. All right, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump, and all that stuff went flying.
Oh, lummy, it didn't have give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come at the door and get us next.
Oh, we stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black.
Oh, we couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we? Then how's there a bullet hole, my friends?
So admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Winniebank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah.
He's not having this.
Sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, okay, so I have no idea what just happened. My mouse got unplugged and my the microphone got unplugged, and it's just all like they're plugged in, but they just stopped working for a sec. So weird. Anyways, however, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess.
Oh, the way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all.
Oh no, it has the desynced audio. No, I hate that. Let me fix this. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Oh, 1 second. Okay, you guys have no idea what I just went through. Like, my computer blue screened. It gave me a memory read error. I had to, like, restart it. There was updates. I had to check the memory. It was bad. But hey, no more desync for the audio. So it's all good, I guess. By the way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all.
Oh, we don't, Nash. We don't. Can't he make us sound a bit more cutthroat?
Can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Winniebank's that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Okay. Let's actually examine what's going on here. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
Hold it!
But why? If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Oh, well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we?
We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good.
Well said, Ringo, me old China. I don't know about that one, buddy. I don't know about that one, that's a weird one. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourself in even more trouble. Oh, well,
Oh, that's rotten luck.
says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? Oh, we never ransacked nothing.
Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied up the place.
He hates it.
Sorry. It was when we had the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter. Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah? His bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on.
Oh, look, it was loud, all right? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang.
Big brother screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
Oh, that got tangled up in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked over them scales on the floor?
You really mastered working quietly then.
What a racket! My granny would have had been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some! I mean, it was quiet as a mouse and then all of a sudden, BAM! You got something to say? My old pal?
Excuse me.
Excuse me indeed. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seemed to react just now to what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. Well, how about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night, and the statement they gave us then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Oh,
Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something before the gunshot.
oh, might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now that you mention it.
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, I can't help feeling that perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas?
Before I discover the witness's testimony have been blue, let me try this again. If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy.
Oh, we'll get it right this time.
Oh, that's it, yep. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Sorry, I just saw the word supple. I'm like, oh, wow. Buddy. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs.
Right you are, Gov. Oh, just before the gunshot, we had a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!"
Can you describe that voice for us? Any details? So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously.
Oh, we did, Gov. We did.
Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yelling, oh?
Oh, if you don't want to get shot.
Oh, give me that gun, bang! Thank you for your little action.
Oh, kind of thing.
Nope, that's not what I want. I want to go to history. Okay, if you don't want to get shot, give me that gun, bang. Okay. Huh. A career in acting tragically missed. And where are the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Oh, of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank?
On me granny's life. Course it was.
On his granny's life. Of course it was. So, that would mean you two have different grandmothers. That you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. Oh, so that would mean... What?
Oh, what, Nash? What? Any ideas?
Yes, Counsel. Indeed it would.
No. Oh, we did know the geezer.
How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke and all that fancy clobbering's giving us the evil eye?
If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
Oh, on me granny's life it is.
Oh, on his granny's life it must be. It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize, then. Immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
Oh, you make it sound like we're clumsy.
Don't forget we tidied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I say it... The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. There's a lot. There's just a lot here. Single discharge. Recorded red-handed. That's after. Removed it. Right, okay, let's press this then.
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, but that was a sight, eh? Them two wavering them guns at each other must have been pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, if you don't want to get shot.
Oh, didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Woo, boy, you're not wrong.
Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, ironically misguided. How did he not die earlier?
Well, certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was going to shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper.
Oh, but he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting the time shouting, "Give me that gun."
And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot? I was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun, bang!
Oh, kind of thing.
Yes, career in acting, very tragically missed. Oh, this is different. was gonna say it's been very similar, but now this is different.
Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place.
Lummy, didn't give me half a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out the door and get us next.
Hold it!
Okay. So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Not on your life.
It went deathly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way that was opening.
Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe.
It was, Gov, it was. From the inside.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through a keyhole or spy hole, perhaps.
Don't ring no bells.
Don't light no lights.
We've had to cut and run before we
Oh, I didn't see which one was speaking.
We've had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that.
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard.
Could use a bit of mustard for these chips. Please cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately, Gina was in there, unconscious, with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
Oh, that's right, Gov, that's right.
Couldn't have even if we wanted to.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black.
Hold it!
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there.
We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Oh, good advice, miss, good advice.
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
Mental note made, miss.
Oh, after that we laid it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or somehow, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking.
What the frick are they like, I get what he's saying, but who speaks like this? I'm so thankful I speak normal English. And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, doesn't it? Eh? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
Hold it!
I don't know about that. And why should we believe that?
Well, 'cause it's true, isn't it?
Oh, the place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. That's new info. In other words, on the night in question, these 2 witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct?
You've got it.
Oh wait, no, that's a little one, right? Yeah.
You've got it, mister.
Down to a T.
So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony? What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry. People's expressions, the movements of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it and come up with a feeling like you describe. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts. Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one. That's okay. We didn't knock for nothing. Give me that gun. Okay, so... Oh! They said that you never saw him. How do we get this, right? He was holding a gun, but then where's the gun? But then where's the gun? Wait, yeah. What do you mean he had a gun? One. Wait. There we go, yeah. 1, you didn't see him. You said you didn't see him. And 2, what do you mean he had a gun? There's no gun there. Right? There's no gun at the scene of... Oh, frick, wrong button. No. No, we gotta go fast. We're gonna see long animations. It's gonna be really embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, so... They said that they saw it. Yeah, I was holding a gun. And so there is no gun on the crime scene photograph. And he has no gun here. In fact, there's no gun on his desk at all. What are you talking about?
Objection!
The music stopped. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winniebank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? Oh, that's it, Gov. You've got the picture.
Oh, yes, Nash, yes, no question.
And yet the photographic evidence from that time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winniebank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more?
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel.
Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been able to turn the tables on the girl, eh?
Hardly likely.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence.
Ah,
Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. And heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
wait, was that a thing that we were able to do, but it didn't count? Skoken's never Skoken. Wait, that just didn't count? What? Really? So then what do we have? Post-shooting photograph. I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay, so yeah, then that's Winniebank's gun, the sign of a single discharge. Floor plan. Oh, I wish I could present their own evidence to them, right? Single bullet. That has nothing to do with it for now. That has nothing to... Oh, God. You can tell a case is going to go wild when you look at it and you're like, you know, there's evidence that just seems entirely unrelated coming up. Stereoscope. Frickin' man. Do we need to maybe do... We heard a voice yell out, "Give me that gun." Maybe we... We did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." The bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have fired instead of yelling at the girl. So he was holding the gun. He was thinking the shooter'd come out next and get us. We stuck everything back where we found it and went off straight into him. We couldn't have shot him, never had the chance. But there's the door. Don't we have the door? Let's see here. Is there anything that talks about the fact that there's a door there? With the thing, with the window, right? It's the window, right? Oh, man. Wait. What if? Stuck everything back in its place. Stuck everything back. Wish I could just go back and forth. I mean, it's the best I can do. Like, oh, you can literally see it moving there, right? So then what happened with the lamp, you know? Lamp's broken now. Stuck everything back in its place. Couldn't have seen him. We gotta find some way that we can say that he absolutely did see him, right? Blue blood. A gilded case. Single bullet. We don't have, like, any evidence for them. They had a gun. Oh, this sucks. My only thought is that there's the window there, right? I'm gonna run through this again. Okay, let's see here. That's the same, okay. Something. Movement of their eyes, the words they choose, take it all in, come up with a feeling. Something suspicious. Trust your instincts. Okay, there's no hint here at all. It's definitely gotta be... It's gotta be this one. Right? He was holding the gun. Do I need to press it again?
Hold it!
Let's do this. I wish I could, again, pop it for... Well, we did this one already once, technically, because of the thing. Okay. It's definitely this one. He should have fired instead of just yelling at the girl. Do we have anything for this? But how, she had the gun in her hand, right? He should have fired. Like, what? I just don't, right? Okay, it might be this one. We couldn't have shot him. See, we never had a chance. Okay, so single shots. That was the one that hit Sholmes, right? Frick, this one's getting me. That has nothing to do with what we're looking at. Right? They shot, so that shot there, April 16th, never had a chance. I feel like I'm going crazy. All right, I'm gonna need to do I actually have no idea for once. I thought that I did the one, but I guess I didn't, right? Because they came in, they heard the noise, never had the chance. But they did, because there's the window, right? Is it the...
Objection!
Are you serious? Okay, I just guessed. I was gonna go through them all. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
Oh, that's it, Gov. You've got the picture.
I has now, she has, no question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. So that's what I thought, right? But I felt like the picture wasn't big enough and they'd say,
Well, how do you know? It might be around there.
right? Okay. Okay.
You what?
Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Yeah, that mole tooler.
Mole tooler? That's not a word. Stop it.
That mole tooler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun, bam!
Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Sorry. Yo, Ace Attorney Five Nights at Freddy's would go actually sicko mode, though. If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out.
Goodness! Are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend. But let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? Oh! Bullet wound from the back. Oh, from the back.
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witness claimed to have heard a shout of "Gimme that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. Skulkin. I'm just still here.
But it's the God's honest truth.
It is now, it is. When he was shot that night.
Oh, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
Oh, he's so pissed. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw with their own eyes The victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Oh, Nash, no.
Order! Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to,
Oh, it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. We're not defending you guys, you're screwed.
But I don't understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we,
Oh, cut it out, Nash, cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us.
He? Who are the... I have an idea. Oh god. Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
bruv, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have our guts for goddess.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well,
Oh, do we have to?
On pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Alright, what do we got? Counter with the victim.
All right, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when that geezer showed his mug.
give me that gun, he bellowed, and then flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we've had it.
Oh, poor old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through, and then... yeah, he legged it through the door into the back room.
We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's what all happened, I swear.
That's a very different account. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Well, we found ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
Oh, but honest, Governor, this time...
Oh, this time, Nash. This time, we ain't got nothing to hide.
Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. Moment I've been waiting for. Alright, well, encounter with the victim.
All right, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Why a sigh of relief? When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winniebank.
Who else? Oh, sorry. I mean, that's right.
Oh, we was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. Oh, we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah, that must have been where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well. That doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Winniebank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time?
What, that Maltula? Well, couldn't tell you.
No way, Copper. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Oh, give me that gun, he bellowed and then flew at us like I was possessed. Oh, I thought we'd had it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at the time?
Oh, was he ever? Blimey, love me. A great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me frontispiece.
I've never heard that phrase before. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with a gun at the time. Is that right?
Oh, it is, Gov, it is. Spot on.
And all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
Oh, it was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean... Oh, for no geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Why were you on the other side of the counter?
Hold it!
Why are you on the other side of the counter? Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too.
Oh, well, yeah, of course we did.
I knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
Oh, I got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked over them scales on the floor?
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter?
Well, a big bruv here went flying off the counter like a gunshot, I tell you. And the old geezer pinned him.
He did now, she did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pound cake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room.
Why would he go back in the back room then? If this was where he was gonna be... Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank?
Oh, no, never. I was just, you know, looking out for me brother, weren't I? I was being flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes? And then, the man fled into the storeroom and you pointed your gun at him, is that it?
Oh, yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran through the door and shot himself in.
There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Yeah, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? Sibling inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
Look, the point is me and brother here.
Oh, that's right, Nash, that's right. Me and bruv here. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
We'll press this for now, but we're gonna go back to that second last one. You said you have nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing, Guff, nothing. That old geezer went and shot himself in the back room, didn't he?
Now look, locked it was. On the inside.
We knew it was, because we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who possibly could have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Windybank? It's the exclamation mark on the "there could have been" that gets me. Right? I'm looking at this. There could have been, right? Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Oh, what?
Well, what's that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. Well, because yeah, if he runs away, look who's behind, right?
It did?
What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is, who could have shot Mr. Windybank? It is believed of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. It has a friggin' window, dude. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums.
2, my lord. Twice as many chances to be right, maybe?
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord. Are you all right, Runo? Not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. Do you believe someone else could have killed the victim? Indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Very simply, like right here.
Take that!
Defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And an answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Right
Take
here.
that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Heck yeah. I'm always a bit worried when it's one of those ones where it's like, place them where you want to, because it's like, dang, gotta be accurate. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear the body was moved after death, which tells us he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony,
I pulled me gun on him and then he legged it through the door into the back room.
if Mr. Windybank ran through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just going to have the little window. It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom.
Oh!
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory.
It had to be someone significantly shorter. Oh my god, it means it's gotta be the little fella.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it still would have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? But, what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so?
Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
It could be Gina as she's trying to avoid... Or he could have done it to protect her. It was honestly, either one of them. Right? But if he was shot, then it would have had to be Gina. Because Gina just wants to save herself at this point, right?
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. From what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Yeah, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh, yeah, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Winniebank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Winniebank must have heard the intruders breaking into a shop and left the storeroom.
Intruders, eh? Oh, that's us, bruv.
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Winniebank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
Oh,
I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Winniebank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Oh, that's your voice. I'm not even that off.
But I mean, we want the ones who done it.
Wang, Gov, Wang. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We'd never shoot no one.
You literally shot Mr. Sholmes. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh.
There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Winniebanks' murder. We got him, boys.
Where does this leave us?
You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest. Do you know how hard it is to transition between voices like that? That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict if not. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing.
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers, in your provincial eastern nation. Actually, no, they do fart battles. They do ancient samurai fart battles. You might be like, what the frick is he talking about? Go watch Fate Samurai Remnant, my playthrough. We learned some deep facts. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery. That's not a word. You're making up words. You're making up words. Amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? I don't even know what that means. The hypothesis you put forward is so ostensibly credibly cannot. You put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your own logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this barley conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, hmm?
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Hold up. No, never mind. I was thinking, what if the Sholmes bullet is still in Sholmes, actually? Right? And that was why the doctor was saying, wait, did I forget them in there? But I don't think so, because then that wouldn't make sense, because he literally said scalpel, so never mind. I thought I had something.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appeared to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there were 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Sherlock Holmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness! I think you'll find. Well, that if a single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, oh, it means...
Windybank, not shot by same gun. Stop. Only 1 bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
No, we were so close.
Order, order, order.
God, you're such a bitch. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery.
Lord Van Zeeks! That thing cost like £500. Are you insane? What the frick? Why do we even pay you? Jesus.
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. as we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. I'll be taking whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is mine.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken into as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. Why is music box disc so hard to say? I want to delete one of the sounds. Music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious!
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see. I think it'll be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character.
Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I'm unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were so insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, bailiff.
Music box disc has been entered into the court record. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. Have we looked at this? Poor McGilded. That's the man you defended in court a couple of months ago, isn't it, Bruno? Yes, or rather mistakenly defended. I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc. That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. Oh, Bruno, look! This is blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd been waiting forever. All right, hold that still with that disc, Bruno. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash. Blue. Green. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Huh. Huh. Really? Huh. Then there's no way that's Sholmes' blood. Right? There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Here comes the objection, right? Here comes the objection, right? I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo. My lord, who's this?
But what if I might say something at this point? Well, proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling about it in a bit of fog up to now, truth be told, but all of a sudden... Well, the answer's bally obvious to me and my men. That's only one thing for it. Oh, no.
Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
No.
Guilty.
No.
Guilty.
Oh, what about you?
Guilty.
Aw, buddy. Are we gonna have to talk to you guys again?
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
We have eliminated the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Oh, how dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winniebank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation exam. I'm not even asking you. You're just gonna do it. So let's just go ahead with it. You're not even gonna have to ask. Let's just freaking do it. Who cares? Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Daredevil Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
All right. Judicial findings. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. A different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say that the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. It's gonna be the bullet's gonna be in him. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see that I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistics expert. I've seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Okay, that doesn't give us an answer at all.
It would seem there was little remaining room for doubt.
Hate to admit, or have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by that chap in the back. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. No schnitzel songs here. That's all I got. I don't know much about that movie. Whole courtroom's turning against me. It's not fair, Iris. That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually. That sounds like he's trying to push us deeper. You know?
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Yes, my lord. I know exactly what I'm going to do here. Jury examination. Well, I'm going to do everything, though. Okay, the blinking of the guy in the back actually gave me a bit of a jump scare. Once a rogue, always a rogue. A different breed to us law-abiding citizens. What do you have to say about that? Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Well... Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No. I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Or, you know, being Japanese, but that's, I guess, fine here. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the Earl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. You said she'd shown she had it in her. Are you referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, well, hey, guess what? I was gonna say, it's been a while since we've heard his voice, and we're still not gonna hear it. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And ordered every type of music box he could find across Europe. We still don't know what tune it plays, though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. The Gilded's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? We should examine it in more detail. Well, we got that, yeah. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. Okay, we're gonna press here, but I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back to this when we find that no, the bullet was probably still inside of Hurley right now. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and 2 guns that fired have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like fine china. Well, does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? I didn't mean to click that. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. I didn't mean to click that, but we'll come back to that. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. Would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might have one lying around somewhere? You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
Hold it!
Trying to get it to pause on what it is, what he's looking at. So I understand correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye and a slightly different right eye one? Exactly! Then you can see the crime scene in 3 dimensions, like this! So, we have 2 bullets. I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Well, think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? It's a waste of time. I'm not gonna change this man's mind anytime soon. I never imagined a simple operation would cause me such grief. Alright, tell me about this, buddy. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it is nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, well, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. Here we go. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name again? Hairlick? No. Hairlock? No. Hairlock? No. Sherlock? No. Super Whoolock? That's the one. Sherlock Sholmes, by any chance? Oh, yes! Good lord! It was that Hairlock fellow! What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? Well, that's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly.
They said he'd been shot by some criminal or brother, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb, and I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but, yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
Counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region.
Oh, that's the wrong voice. I was gonna say, why is he saying this? Right? The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region and exited through the door. I need to read it. Then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying you checked his back?
Well, of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how much this jury was put together.
The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one?
We're gonna send him with him. Oh my god, here we go. Well, we'll do you first.
Hold it!
This is okay. What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say. Stop. Excuse me, stop. I'm communications officer, stop. Okay, communications officer. Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world. Thousands of miles of cables under the sea stop. Worldwide communication network stop. Information transmitted to all quarters of the globe stop. Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communication information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? Please. Okay, we're absolutely gonna do it with you. And we're gonna then, yeah, here we go. Okay, this is good, this is good. But first off, talk to me, buddy. I thought you were just a tourist? Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he just visiting tourist. So you're a ballistics expert. Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah. I have lived through many. How do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of, Oh, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps? Those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve. Well, he's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in Russian language. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? Now, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. It's right there! Fedzik's managed to convince everyone. We've eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't. We're gonna fight back. We need more material. We have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. I know exactly what to do. Alright, let's go. We're gonna pit you two.
Objection!
Yeah! Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. I was gonna say, don't, there's no contradiction, but like, collude.
Oh, a ballistics expert.
Pitting
Pittin. Oh, like the armpitty. I see.
On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6.
Hello, my name is Whelan. Pleased to meet you.
It's apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold.
Well, golly.
The snow is piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation is very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body, and no sign of, exit wound.
Well, then, where did the bullet go?
Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side.
What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound.
Oh, good gracious.
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet.
Wait, but that doesn't answer the question at all.
Huh?
But the shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop, not some snowy mountain road in another country.
Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Who knows? Where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. That's your thigh, Runo. Oh! Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may. Lord Van Zeeks? Well, I do realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping, along with all the other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident. There's going to be a bullet in there. There's going to be a bullet in there.
Very well. Well, extremely unconventional during a summation examination. I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed.
Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch.
I see. So this pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes in the night in question, is it?
Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
Oh, and it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
His bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop.
A delightfully complex aroma
Well, one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. Hold up. Oh, we can't look at it yet? Let me look at it. The bungling and burgling brother shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. Ah,
But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep tonight. Thank you, young man.
nah. Thank you very much. Glad I could help.
But what's very well the conundrum is solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence.
Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy.
Good. Let me take a look.
Oh, look what's right there. This file's been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. I clicked on it. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion. Big explosion? Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for the investigation work he does, but they're also quite tricky to handle, safely at least. They're very dangerous. Oh, I'm sure that when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in the future. Left is the danger zone. Are we not going to talk about that? That is clearly there still? Wow, really? There we go. No, it's not. It's really scorched badly here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look. This must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. Oh, there we go. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? That's the Skulkin Brothers bullet. What a stroke of luck that it hit its pouch. It's an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windybanks that night. We found exactly what the juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. Yes, we got it there. Nice. I can't believe we're gonna go, you mean this bullet?
Where the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion,
Please, my lord. A little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. Could be a valuable clue. We can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around. Somehow, I'm sure of it. Alright. So now we got you. We're gonna press. Right? Because I don't think we can't. Yeah, we can't do that. So we're gonna go press. And then we're gonna say, you mean this bullet? And she's gonna be like, frick, frick, frick. And we're gonna be like, yeah! That's it. That's court, baby. I can prove it. Allow me to show you then the 3rd bullet. Literally, it's right here. I'm actually going to examine it first. Is there anything to say? This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin Brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes. So it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital. I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh dear, poor Hurley. Oh, well. Bam.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windybank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? The pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital, and since then, it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin Brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship had surmised, it hit this pouch.
Well, that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It is clearly visible in this photographic print.
Ah! 2 guns from the scene had already been submitted in the court record as evidence.
Yes, That of Mr. Whittybank and that belonged to the Skulkin brothers.
An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. I'm becoming chuny again.
Order! 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 Well, this summation examination remains incomplete. The court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As it is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination.
By Jupiter! What?
Bailiff, bring the witness back to the stand at once.
Wow. Wow, we're okay.
Witnesses,
Oh, Governor!
were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
Oh, we was, Governor, we was.
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble, just simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet had been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? Oh, I don't make of it. Is it one of your... Wow, I couldn't even say it. Oh, I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it, Is it one of yours?
Oh, God blimey, Gov, God blimey, not a chance.
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone.
It was just the 2 of us, that's our trademark.
How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Lummy, that's a
head scratcher.
Counsel for the defense,
Yes?
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. I think it had nothing to do with them. I think that this is that everything involving this 3rd bullet is going to be there's another party involved. Right? I believe it has nothing to do with them.
Nash, Nash, that's right.
Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov.
We've established that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a 3rd firearm. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the 3rd gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the 3rd man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. An accomplice, you say? Pigswile. Pigswell? These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there's been not a murmur of a 3rd man. This apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must show hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding?
Well, Counsel?
I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is... I don't think we can do answers. Unless we are. My only thought is, like, we do have the evidence of someone who's, like, we have an unknown person's blood. Right? Because that's not Hurley's blood, then. That's someone else's. We know someone's here. Sure. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference.
In that case, Counsel, I would like to ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio.
By Jove! Well, that portfolio good, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of the blood samples proves the existence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? Is this one?
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a blood stain, my lord.
Blood stain?
Green blood. Curious, even for you. Does the court understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective! New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole new extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank.
Oh, a striking blue.
Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that someone else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be for some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Well, then whose blood is it?
Well, Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries, which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Is it Egbert? Because that was his blood that got on it, right? Right?
Take that!
The man's name, oh my god, it is, okay, is Egbert Benedict.
Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Counselor? It's just a freaking name.
He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. I forgot about him getting his blood on it. Broca.
Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no?
Oh, yes, sir.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say... Hoo-ha. Any music box discs, too. Can't get over how JoJo he is. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Winniebank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Winniebanks that morning.
But you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you've never seen the geezer before in me life.
Oh, on me life, Gov, on me life, never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, the prison witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can.
Well, then show us the evidence.
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. We got this. It's the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in the photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. I gotta show the thing again, right? Yep.
Take that!
That proof is right here in this portfolio.
Good gracious, counsel. Does the portfolio contain the answers to every question ever posed?
I see you share my interest in clarent-colored liquids, my Nipponese friend, but... Enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proves the man you identified was the one shot by the third bullet at the scene of the crime? This
Take
one.
that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Winniebanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man that attempted to purloin.
Oh, that's the Pokemon's pun. I get it now.
This man that attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
Oh, but of course, sir. Here is the disc for you.
Why is he wearing a different outfit? All right, he got a different coat, didn't he? Right. Very well. Right, his badly shaped one. Right. Then I shall bid you farewell and say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc is mine.
What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has numerous small but sharp metal protrusions on its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Oh, goodness! A blood stain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the blood stain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio.
I say,
It's green.
it's
5. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. I lost count. I don't know which is which. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Mr. Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there was someone. Look at the brothers now. They're sweating buckets.
Oi! Oh, you talking about? It's boiling in here.
My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Huh? Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... And pray, do not even think of suggesting we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention is going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas there ever said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. Ah. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Oh, good grief! What did you just say, young girl?
And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
Well, after that shrewd precis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Nice.
Not guilty.
Sick.
Not guilty.
Awesome.
Guilty.
What?
Guilty.
Oh no.
Not guilty.
Yay. Doctor, why? Doctor, why?
2 called guilty and 4 called not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial must continue. Nevertheless, We find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord. Juror number 5?
Oh, what have you to say, madam?
If possible. Inspector. Me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one in which the gentleman was shown. Right, yes, this one you mean, of Mr. Benedict. Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man? Yes, I know him. Oh, what?
No. Good gracious! Order! Juror number 5! How on earth?
I am a communications officer, stop. As we can clearly see. The gentleman in the photograph is, stop. Also, a communications officer, stop. He works in my office, stop. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop. Tapping away on the telegraph, stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. Can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he was a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within an hour. Lord Van Zeeks, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson?
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about the events the pawnbroker on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Oh boy. Oh boy, that was a long one. But, I mean, we got into it. That was good. That was a good section. Aside from that one section that tripped me up, that one section that really got me, we did pretty good. We did pretty damn good. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time for the trial, part 3. We'll see you then for some more great Ace Attorney, folks. Ciao.